Hello, welcome to Newbreed Film Reviews. This is episode number 20, which is funny because we had said after 12 episodes we were going to take a little break, and we did not do that. So, tonight I have Brian, and I have Dave.
What's going on, fellas?
What's up? What's up?
And ladies, I'm sorry.
And ladies, of course. And our topic is best film adaptations of a book. And we did include comic books in here. And I also want to preface this by saying that the movies on my list, I didn't necessarily read all of the books that also went with them. Actually, probably most of them I didn't read the books. These are just movies that were books that became movies that are my favorite. And I also have some ones that I did not like.
I think I'm on the same page, but I don't know what that word means. But yeah, preferable? Preface. Oh, okay.
It's like,
I want to agree.
Like a statement. It's like a statement or like a warning before your
that vocabulary,
before your actual statement.
You're going to learn today.
That podcast vocabulary. Stepping up your game.
So, and all the movies on my bad list are actually books that I did read. So, okay, sorry, Brian.
I was going to say I only have books for stuff I've read, which is a very short list because I'm not much of a big reader.
I got a mixture. I got comics and books that I've actually read and some that I haven't.
Yeah.
But it's whatever. We could roll with it. Who's pick?
Go first, Dave?
I'll go first. This is the first one that came to my mind. It was like an easy pick, just came right to me. I actually did read the book, so I have some insight and input on the novel and the movie. I'm going to say Jurassic Park by Michael Crichton. And like I said, I read the novel, and I saw the movie first, then I read the book. The book, I mean, you can guess this, way better, like way more detailed.
Yeah.
Just like a better experience. Like as crazy as that sounds, like the book is like pretty amazing. It's a good book.
Let's just be honest in the fact that most of the time when you have a book for a movie, it's usually going to be way better because you have a lot more detail. There's a lot more backstory.
And your imagination gets to work rather than, although if you watch a movie first, you can get some of those visuals in your head already. So then when you switch to the book, like you don't have to use your imagination as much, but then you get to see them in some slightly different situations than the movie, and it makes it fresh.
I honestly, if I'm going to read a novel, if I'm interested, excuse me, I prefer not to see any characters to like the movie. I don't want to see anything related because I don't want to be influenced like with my mental image of like these characters. So I prefer to read the book first, but with Jurassic Park, I happened to see the movie first, and it didn't mess up my experience. I thought, like I said, the book was like way more detailed and cooler, and the movie's just amazing. And if I could just add one thing before I shut up, is that to adapt a novel or a book into a movie is like extremely difficult. And
I agree with you on that.
the people who complain and cry, like when they see a movie and they say, oh, they didn't include this or they changed that or blah, blah, blah. Sometimes it's written on paper, doesn't transfer well to film. And also you're cramming in like so much material in 2 hours.
Yeah, you got 2.5, 3 hours. And with a normal book, you can probably read it for 10 hours. You know, in a big novel, it's like 20 hours, you know,
right. So I'm going to shut up, but like the movies that actually came pretty close, kudos to them because it is extremely difficult.
Can you I haven't read the novel Jurassic Park, but obviously I've seen the movie multiple times. Can you think of anything, Dave, that they was cooler in the book? Like that you remember like a cooler scene or something that they left out of the movie?
The detail and descriptions of like the dinosaurs, like and some of the scenes, like it was just like more detailed. And there were scenes that they didn't have in the movie. I can't think of them off the top of my head. It was like a couple of deaths. I think Robert Muldoon, like the hunter, had more of a play in the novel. I haven't read it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he did too. I was a kid when I read it, but I believe you're right there.
Yeah, I haven't read it in a long time, but the biggest thing is just the detail and like the description of the scenes just painted a way cooler picture than film like produced, you know?
Yeah, I think so. And when you go with, any kind of book, it's designed to teach you description. Remember when you started writing scripts, Dave? You
Yeah.
started writing them as novels, and you would describe each scene in great detail.
Yeah.
And then, like, what you had read in comparison, when you write a screenplay, you kind of write a screenplay bare bones. You don't write it like a novel. You don't write it with all that back description.
Yeah.
And then it's hard to kind of convert the book over to the screenplay.
When I first started writing, I really didn't do any research on screenplay writing or script writing. So like I would like write it like a novel, like really
write it like
detailed.
a book. Yeah.
and then I did some studying and stuff on like screenplay writing, and then you're supposed to write where like you're painting a picture but almost like alluding to things and like having confidence that the audience will figure it out. Like it's like you just kind of not so much detail, you know what I mean? But anyway, so one more thing on Michael Crichton. He did a lot of books, but he did Congo, and they did the movie Congo, and the book was freaking great. The movie was terrible.
I loved that movie.
See, I remember Congo as like my first kind of like sci-fi experience as like a young kid. I don't know, was it 95? So that means I'd be like 7 or 8 or something. So I remember it that way. I remember it was super cheesy, but I do remember reading about that Congo was a great book, and then when they took and they adapted it to film, they kind of just butchered it.
Dude,
is that the movie with Amy the gorilla?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay,
yeah. And the big mutated looking gorillas guarding the diamonds.
Yeah.
Cave your head in. Yeah. Weird funny thing, I took a bus trip to New York. It was like 2.5 hours. I read Congo within 2.5 hours.
Did you really?
Yeah, dude. It was amazing. Like, I don't even know how I did it. I sat there, got on the bus, I read it, and I blasted through the whole book.
Well, that kind of book does it to you, you know?
Cyborg status.
When I'm at work or anything like that, like I started doing Audible, and dude, I'll eat a book in one day. You know, like I can listen to some books in 8 hours, and I'll just put my headphones in, and I'll just, if it's a really good book and it's got my attention, I'll just like binge listen to it the whole day.
Dude, I fall asleep. I fall asleep.
Can I piggyback off of that?
You go ahead and
Amazon.
piggyback, Paul.
You own Audible, and you don't allow us to use our Amazon credit card to purchase audiobooks through Audible. Please fix that. It's frustrating. Thank you.
Whose pick?
Paul, go ahead.
My turn.
Service announcement over with. Go ahead, Paulie.
All right. So this is a movie I've mentioned this movie several times in different episodes for different reasons. It's one of my favorites, and I don't think either one of you guys have seen it, but The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Now this is one that I also read the book, at least the first book, because there's like a full series of them, and I loved it. I loved the book, and I feel like the movie actually really stuck to the book well. I feel like it just, not word for word, but you know, it was good stuff. Sorry, I got a little bit distracted there.
Sorry, my wife snuck into the background secretly to try to grab a toy for my son and distracted Paulie while he was talking. So go ahead, Paulie.
Hey, I thought Paul was about to pull a Christian Bale. You're messing up my podcast.
Oh, good for you.
You're never gonna work in this town again.
Bunch of freaking amateurs. Dude, there was a recent video of Dennis Quaid flipping out. It's on YouTube, and people don't know if it's real or not. Like, I saw it.
No, it wasn't. It was a publicity stunt.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Because, he's a fine actor. Because, dude, it was like, I thought it was legit.
Yeah, it came out that it was a publicity stunt that they did on purpose. What are we gonna do to get? Let's plan this whole freak out scene and make people think it's real to get me publicity. No, it was like, we're gonna do this. Everybody's gonna act, and then we're gonna release later on that it was for publicity for like a movie or something that's coming up. Randy Quaid, on the other hand,
you got a little pop going on, Paul.
Oh no,
it's up a little bit, not crucial, but
So what do you think, Paulie? Do you obviously you probably enjoy the book more? Do you think the film did a good adaptation of the book?
Yeah, absolutely. Actually, to be honest with you, this is one of the few occasions where I don't like the movie more, but I also don't like the book more. I'd say I like them both on a pretty even keel.
I've never seen it. I never read the book. Never seen it. It looked like a fun movie for whatever reason.
It's an awesome movie. I mean, they have some Jim Henson creatures in there, which is really, really cool. But they just, and the ending of it is pretty cool too.
Mos Def is in it. I know that. He's underrated, dude. I seen him in
I think he's good. Yeah.
I seen him in like regular roles. He's okay.
Speaking of it's the only weird thing about it, and it's somewhat acceptable because he's playing an alien in that movie, but like the movie initial setting takes place in England, and Mos Def is there, and it's like he's the only American in the beginning of the movie when they're in England, and it's just it kind of throws you off a little bit. But like I said, because he's an alien, spoilers,
I might have to check it out.
It makes it acceptable. And then there's other Americans later on in the movie, but just in that particular scene, it's kind of weird. But all right, so who's next?
I go. So obviously, if you've listened to the podcast for a while, you're going to know what my all-time favorite movie is. Yeah. Yep. All-time favorite movie would, of course, be Jaws. And the book was actually written by Peter Benchley. Mm-hmm. And the really cool thing is that he actually wrote the screenplay as well. So it's really good when they actually they bring the author on to actually write the screenplay for the film.
Peter Benchley loves writing them sea monster stories.
Yeah,
he's written other ones.
Yeah. I can't think of what they are off the top of the head, but yeah, they're all. Yep, that's like a squid or something like that, right?
I don't know if the Beast was. It was adapted to a TV movie, but he likes writing about sea creatures. Something must have happened to him when he was a kid.
He must have got attacked by in the
his
ocean.
Goldfish must have like just jumped out of the bowl and just
nightmare
got in his eye.
But he. Like I stated at the beginning, I rarely read books, and it's just not my forte. I don't enjoy it at all. But from seeing the movie and it being one of my all-time favorites, I'm just like, you know what? I'm gonna read the book. And I have to say, and all those people, everybody that says like the book's better, like I was just like, why the hell would you want to read the book instead of actually watch the film? And I have to agree with them.
It is usually better.
I have to agree with them that the book is better.
I say? Go ahead, bro. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. I'll interject what I think about the book towards the film. But
I was going to jump on one thing that you said about the book being better. It just made me think about one movie where, like, hands down, without a doubt, and for the people listening, if you saw the movie and read the book or the novel by Stephen King, you will agree unless you're on drugs. Pet Sematary. The book was legitimately messed up. That shit was scary. It was a creepy-ass novel. And the movie was okay, but by far the book was
all of Stephen King's books are so much better than the movie.
Dude, they are, because you lose so much detail when you're we talked about. You're trying to cram it all in, and you're trying to stay a PG-13 or an R rating. Well, Stephen King usually goes above R sometimes.
Let me tell you though, I read several Stephen King books. That's the scariest one I ever read, Pet Sematary.
Yeah,
Pet Sematary was messed up, and there's one scene in the novel that they didn't show it at all. They didn't even try to. It was like way out there. I had to do like with an apparition in the woods, and like it was like the description of it like tingles up your spine status, like twisted. But that's my input on that, Brian.
No, yeah, I fully agree with you. I mean, after I read, because I've read other books before, I just never read books that have been really adapted into films, and this one I did. Mm-hmm. And I think it's kind of almost weird. I don't know if this is for you guys. It almost kind of ruins a little bit of the movie for me, because I know from the book a little bit more of the backstory that didn't happen in the movie, but it happened in the book. So I'm almost like watching it with animosity. So have you guys ever read Jaws before? Or
I've never read
heard about like what it is difference. So Brody's wife actually commits adultery with Hooper in the book. So like she sneaks away, and like there's this whole bunch of chapters in the middle where she wants to sneak away and they rent a hotel and they get down and stuff like that, and then
Does she get
still has
eaten?
them over for dinner.
Does she get eaten?
No.
Well, she
No.
should have.
So
She
yeah,
should've.
how does that add to the story at all, other than just another thing that's going on?
Well,
How does
eventually when they get to the boat, that's when it comes out, you know,
Oh.
so it's like, and you know how like in the movie there's an animosity because he's like some rich boy, you know, coming down between Brody and Hooper in the movie?
Yeah.
Well, there's a lot more animosity because, you know, Hooper obviously knows that he was like banging his wife. So like, so I almost, when I watch it, I watch Brody's wife now and like, you
are a
adulteress.
whore.
Yes. That's the way I think about it when I watch it now. So it's almost like it's a good part of the story because it builds up the tension between Brody and Hooper, and I see why the author did it, and I see why they took it out of the movie because they couldn't cram it in the 2.5 hours to be able to do it.
Why
they couldn't build that backstory.
Why you judging though? Maybe he beat her. Maybe maybe he came home and just went to bed and gave her no loving.
No, because
Never know.
if you read the book, man, she feels like she's settled with Brody. And because she was a little rich girl before, and Brody's like a hometown cop, you know, not that much money, trying to scrape together. So she wants bigger and better things. She wants the rich boys.
You know
so
what?
She goes after Hooper.
She should have got eaten by Jaws and Orca.
She should have. She should have. So that's my biggest movie that I've read based on a book, and obviously one of my all-time favorites. So
I'm not quite sure what Paul's doing right now. Paul's on camera. Yeah, it looks like he has like a magnifying glass.
I do. I have a little magnifying glass.
Good pick, Brian. Good pick. Damn! I just thought of another. Salem's Lot. They actually made a TV series, like a miniseries out of Stephen King's, which I read. I started Salem's Lot. It's supposed to be one of the scariest books he did, and I just kind of, dude, it is pretty messed up.
Yeah. Somebody told me to read that.
That book is juicy. That thing is fat.
Yeah, it
looks like a brick. And The Stand is regarded as like his best work, like ever. I have The Stand. I didn't finish it either. Am I up?
You're up.
Okay, we're gonna lighten up the mood here and dumb it down. So I'm gonna go comic. So I'm gonna say one of the best comic adaptations, Blade, with Wesley Snipes. Blade was a not so known superhero, and Marvel did this rated R crazy movie with Wesley Snipes that I think it kind of started the genre of like taking superhero movies serious as like blockbusters. And I wasn't familiar with Blade other than he was a vampire hunter. I know he was a half-breed, but it made Blade a household name. Like that was a awesome freaking movie. Ranks up there with one of the best superhero flicks of all time, in my humble opinion, and I picked Blade as far as comic adaptations.
That's a good one. I mean, is Blade like? Does he look like the character in the comics?
Yeah.
Wesley Snipes looks like the character from the comic books.
Yeah,
I haven't seen the comics, so.
No, I mean, not exactly, but you know, they did a good job.
Just curious. Yeah.
Yeah. The story. It's I believe it is accurate to the comic books, but you know, I just feel I know it's an older movie and people seem to have forgotten about it, you know, and
no, it's still a good movie though. It holds up like 20 years later, you know.
No, I don't mean forgotten about it in general, but I mean as far as like setting the precedent from Marvel movies, like that was probably the first movie to be a huge blockbuster, like superhero wise. You know what I mean? Like,
oh yeah, probably. Because if you think about it, back to the old Supermans though. They were popular.
Oh yeah, those two.
Yeah, but look at the gap between the old Supermans and present day.
That's true.
You know, 1999. I mean, when was the last time there was a Superman movie? Like a decade ago.
Yeah.
You know.
No. The Superman movie with Henry Cavill or whatever, however you say his name, was just
Cavill
like 2 years ago.
One.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was 2014. He's talking like around Blade's time. He's saying comparison to when the first Blade
was like in the 90s, basically?
Yeah.
There wasn't one.
No, there wasn't any good.
Yeah.
The Rocketeer,
such a good movie.
The Phantom with Billy Zane. I mean, but nothing. I mean, you had the Batman flicks. But Batman 1 with Keaton came out in like 89, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Right.
The second one was like 92.
Which sucked.
Yeah, and then you had the shitty, colorful Batmans with the Nike sneaker Batmobiles. Not cool, man. Not cool.
The George Clooney Batman. That was like 97, I think, or something, right?
Yeah, they don't count to me. But
Or does Val Kilmer?
Val Kilmer was better than George Clooney.
I don't care. I still think, I don't know. I think Val Kilmer. And the movie was better, but you know what? That's a whole different discussion. We won't get into that. We always get into a Batman debate.
Do.
What is the purpose of Robin besides being a beat down
boy
victim
wonder.
of the Joker?
Oh, so did you guys hear how they're going to integrate the Joker in the Batman versus Superman?
Yeah, they're mixing them in both movies. That's so
they're
sick.
they're going to do a flashback of Robin getting like beat to shit
From
by
the
Joker.
death of the family.
Yeah. So that's pretty cool.
It's
Cool how they're going to connect the worlds, you know?
Taking a page out of Marvel.
They are.
Yep. They're doing true comic book stories. They're doing good tie-ins there. I like it.
But if they really want to be accurate, they need to bring back Ryan Reynolds as Green Lantern.
Right.
For Justice League.
Well, he's going in the Deadpool role. They're already shooting it right now. So.
Yeah. I'm not excited about that. I could care less.
I am.
I
think he's going to be a good character for
as what's his face?
Yeah, Deadshot. Will Smith's going to play Deadshot.
Terrible.
Suicide Squad.
Terrible, dude.
I used to love Will Smith's movies, but it seems like he just since like Hancock just has not made a good movie.
I have a theory on Will Smith. I was talking about it on another podcast.
Bath salts.
Will Smith, what happened? No, close. What happened to Will Smith was when he started out, he was like this goofy fun actor. And like, he didn't take himself too serious. And then when he did the movie Ali, the reason that movie generated so much buzz is because you took a guy who was goofy, who didn't appear like he can really act, and he actually pulled it off in a serious
I don't know.
role.
Independence Day, man, he killed it in Independence Day.
Yeah, but he was a comedy. You know, he kept cracking jokes.
Yeah,
the
to
whole
an
time.
extent. All right. Fair enough, so.
Yeah. So when he did Ali, he was like viewed as like, it was like a wow factor. Like, oh man, he can actually act. Then he ran with that. He did a couple of other serious roles. He got
Pursuit of Happiness was really good.
He got praise, and this is what happened to him. He forgot how to be fun. And every single movie turned into this Oscar role for him, like, you know, trying way too hard. And, you know, I think that's what ruined his career. And now he's trying to come back to being fun. Now he's doing a superhero flick.
Yeah, but
who cares about Suicide Squad? Really? Like, I don't.
Yeah, but
I do.
In theory, though,
who
cared about Guardians of the Galaxy? And that was a big hit.
Nobody.
Good call. But it's not about like it's not like people who read Suicide Squad comics, you know, like how many of them are there? Because there's enough, but it's people who are interested in a movie about the villains, like the bad guys. Dude, Harley Quinn is going to be an actual movie character. That excites the hell out of me.
I could care less about a Harley Quinn, dude. What does she have that's exciting besides the Joker's lackey? She's not known for anything.
She doesn't have to be. Like, she'll do anything that the Joker wants her to do because she's infatuated. She is so obsessed, and she's gonna any of his dirty deeds, you know, this, and she does it.
I mean, who knows? Maybe on screen it would be like a cool dynamic, but, you know, if I don't care about Black Widow, and I think Black Widow's infinitely cooler than Harley Quinn, I don't care about Black Widow either. Matter of fact, I don't even care about Hawkeye. They both could die. Too bad they
I don't care about Hawkeye, but Black Widow needs to stay. She needs to stay.
Nice to
I don't
look
care
at,
if she just
but-
stands in the background.
Let's reel it back
sorry.
in, boys.
Back in.
Whose pick was it?
Well, that one was yours, right?
Oh, yeah,
That one was
Blade.
yours.
It's yours,
Blade.
Paul, I think.
Yep.
Paulie.
So, the Harry Potter series, you know, and I know what you're going to say in a minute, Dave, but so the Harry Potter series, for most of my life since
That's
it came
on my
out,
list, dude.
for
I'm
most of
converted.
my life, I've denied Harry Potter movies are stupid. But let me just say this. I have the whole collection. And I have the whole collection because as a freshman in high school, our English teacher put on the first Harry Potter movie. And even though I acted like I hated it and was miserable the whole time, when that class ended before the movie ended, I was so bummed and could not wait to get back in that class to finish the movie. It was so good. And for years, I just denied that I liked those movies. But man, they're good freaking movies. I don't know how close they are to the book. I just know that
I got some
did a good
input
job.
when you're done.
All right, man, go for it.
This is funny. It's funny that you brought Harry Potter up because recently, this guy that I work with convinced me into watching them. I was a Harry Potter hater. I was ignorant. This is not my type of movie. Brian, what kind of movies I like?
Sci-fi messed up movies.
Demented. Like if it's demented, I'm probably gonna watch it and twist it. Hobo with a shotgun. That's right up my alley. But no, I like good movies.
Well, that reminds me, we need to do an all-time worst movies.
Man, get out of here with that. That's a family classic. But I was a Harry Potter hater. I was ignorant to it. I'm like, nah, not my type of movie, blah, blah, blah. Dumb kid in glasses with a doofy haircut, got a wand. So this guy worker loans me the whole collection on Blu-ray. I start watching them, and I am converted. Like they progressively get better as the series go on. You watch these characters grow. You watch them age and turn into like adults, and they bring everybody back. It's incredible to see. The effects, they get better as it goes on also. And I really, really like Voldemort. I think he's an iconic, awesome movie character. I did not read the books, but Ralph Fiennes, I think that's his name, he played a great villain in that series. And that's my input on Potter. I will own them. Probably like on a $5 bin special each, but I definitely would own them.
Go to, I don't know if you have them down there. We have this store called Game Exchange up here where it's all used video games and DVDs. And I buy most of my DVDs there now because they're all anywhere from like $5 to $10.
Dude,
and they have hundreds and hundreds of movies.
There's a movie stop down here in South America.
No, it's called Game Exchange, man. Check it out. I just don't know if they have them down there. I don't know if it's like just a regional thing or what, but
yeah,
it's an awesome store. It's like one of my favorites.
They might have them down here in Guatemala. Go ahead, Bri. You got any input, dude?
Not really.
Man, you a Harry Potter hater.
No, I'm not. It just, it doesn't, I've seen the first film, and that's about it. Like, it doesn't, I'm not a hater. It doesn't, but it doesn't interest me at all.
Oh, can I do some PR work right now? To my people who wear glasses and with funny haircuts, I love you too. I got nothing against people with bowl haircuts or glasses. I just want to throw that out there, clear the record.
All right. But, yeah, Harry Potter, it's cool that they are able to take all the books and recreate them for anybody that's a big fan. And this whole podcast is about people having books or films created from their favorite books. And I think Harry Potter is one of the most successful out there to be able to recreate their entire book series, obviously besides Lord of the Rings. Mm-hmm. But I think that the author, I'm not sure the author's name. What's the author's name?
J.K. Rowling.
J.K. Rowling. There you go. Successfully was able to capture her entire book series on film and keep the fans happy in the whole process. So, I mean, you got to give her props. Or it's a her, right?
Yes. Yeah. If I'm not mistaken, she's a huge success story. She was like poor as hell, homeless. Don't quote me on this, but I believe she was homeless at one point.
Yep.
And look at her now.
Right. She wrote, I think, on like a napkin or something like that, like the whole premise of Harry Potter. Ridiculous. If I remember correctly, like on a subway she wrote it. I think that's how the story goes, but yeah, phenomenal story.
Incredible story. Now she's Mayweather. She got that May money.
JK Money Rowling.
Money May. Except, dude, Money May probably surpassed Bill Gates.
Yeah,
with,
in one
fight
night.
Over the weekend. That dude is paid.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So
the fight sucked though.
So I got a book that I read, and there's not a film out yet, but it actually was picked up by Steven Spielberg, and he is set to direct. It's announced that he bought the rights to do this film. And this book, I think you guys would actually really enjoy. It's got so much like 80s nostalgia in it. It's called Ready Player One. Have you guys ever heard of it before?
Nope.
No, but I like the title.
All right, so it's basically the author is Ernest Cline, and listen to this, Dave. The basic concept of the storyboard or screenplay is there's a kid in the future. The film follows this kid named Wade Watts, and in the future the world is like so bad, like it's just such a nasty place to be in the real world.
Like most of the future pictures, or
correct.
Wow.
So it's set in present day.
No, this is
like
worse.
a 1930s man. And the moving pictures.
No, people live in trailer parks that are converted into stacks, which are basically cities, which are stacked trailer parks. That's how bad it is. So
that sounds awesome.
But everybody in the future lives in this world that's called the Oasis. And the world is kind of like an MMO world. It's kind of like World of Warcraft. And everybody signs in with these like lenses that go over, like, you know, virtual reality screen lenses, and they sign in with gloves, and there's like full suits that they can wear. So everything that's happening within the world, they can sign in. Kids, when they go to high school, they actually go to high school in the Oasis. So they actually go to high school in the virtual reality, which is cool. When they're in class and they go to study the Egyptian pyramids, they are virtual reality, so they just go to the Egyptian pyramids and study it, which is cool. So
that actually sounds really awesome.
But the whole premise of the film is the millionaire who invented the Oasis, he dies, and he has no close person to him at all. So what he does is he hides an Easter egg in the video game, and it has all of his millions and millions of dollars. So whoever finds the Easter egg within the video game, or within, you know, the MMO world, is able to capture all the $1 million. So him and tons of other kids, they go for it. And the Easter egg is wrapped into all these games. Like, you gotta play like the old school Pac-Man game. You gotta play like, actually one of the scenes, you gotta go through the movie, War Games. The kid from Ferris Bueller, you know that movie?
Mm-hmm.
Is War Games, where they have to recreate it.
Matthew Broderick.
Yep. One of the things, he has to reenact the whole movie from start to finish, as part of the Easter egg, you know? So, there's a corporation that's trying to get in and trying to find the Easter egg so that they can get the billions of dollars, an evil corporation, you know, and he's getting in there and he's trying to find it, and it's like these 5 kids that end up doing it. So Spielberg signed on to do this film, and you guys should definitely read the book because it's pretty cool. I Audible binged it in a day, like 8 hours. I Audible binged it, and I don't know. It's epic to the fact that I don't know if he's going to be able to actually do it in recreation. Like, the last part of the scene, they fight these gigantic robots against this, like, onslaught of company people, like all these gigantic robot scenes fighting each other. So I don't know how you would do that unless you did a full-on transporter or Transformers kind of thing.
Yeah.
Or if he's going to do the whole thing in real life or in cartoon, because there's so much dream world in there, and I don't know how you tie the whole story in. But I'm excited
be $1 billion.
because first,
the budget's going to be like ridiculous.
The happy part is that Spielberg's on, which means that they're not going to cut the budget. They're going to give him the budget to do it.
Is he on, or is he just attached?
Oh no, he's on to direct.
Okay.
He bought the rights to direct it.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, he's not even producing. He's signed on as the director for it. Because if you read the book, it's like really cool, and you know, like with the Oculus, the new VR technology that's coming out,
yeah,
it's exactly that world. It's if that world consumes us in the future. So it's pretty cool. So that one I'm excited to. It's not a film that's out yet. I'm excited that Spielberg's attached to make that book into a film. So
interesting. Sounds pretty interesting. It sounds like a Steven Spielberg movie, big and over the top.
Yeah.
You know, and innovative. All right, whose pick?
Yours, I think.
It's my pick? All right, I'm going to blast through a few of these. I'm going to bundle them up. I'm going to go back to comic adaptations, and I'm just going to drop a few out there and like briefly touch on them. The first one I'm going to say Man of Steel with Henry Cavill, the newer Superman movie. Fully enjoyed it. I thought it was a great movie adaptation of Superman. Iron Man was amazing. They did
number one
of the greatest superhero flicks, like screen-wise.
And they kept Tony Stark, you know?
Yeah.
They didn't change the character.
No one could play Tony Stark besides Robert Downey, by the way.
Right.
Batman 1989 has a special place in my heart. Tim Burton. Danny Elfman did the music. Michael Keaton, I thought it was magic. Captured the Batman essence. May not have had the greatest effects. It kind of dragged a little bit because all origin movies are a little bit slower. But I go on record and I say this all the time. Michael Keaton is the best Batman ever on screen. That's my opinion on that one. So those are 3 superhero flicks that I thought were great comic adaptations.
All right, so I'm going to switch it up a little bit and go to movies that sucked as adaptations. So, one is Angels and Demons.
I didn't see that. That's the one with whatchamacallit as the Tom Hanks as the lead actor.
Yeah. It's the sequel to the Da Vinci Code.
Correct.
And I like the movie. Don't get me wrong. I like the movie, but some of the parts deviated so far. Like the ending deviated incredibly far from the book that it was really disappointing to see. The next one, I watched a little bit of it yesterday, and it was The Great Gatsby. I read the book when I was in high school, and I thought it was a pretty good book. And when I saw probably half an hour of the movie yesterday, it was ridiculously. I mean, they just ruined that movie.
Mm-hmm. I know someone who loves
shit
that
all over
movie.
the book. So, and then my last one is Tim Burton's Willy Wonka.
I don't know if Gil does. I think he mentioned it. No, someone else said it was like amazing. I had no interest in seeing it at all.
Oh, excuse my ignorance. Willy Wonka was a book?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yep. Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
I didn't know that.
Or Charlie and the Great Glass Elevator, I think is what the book was.
Oh, okay. That's cool.
If I remember correctly. But yeah, the original Willy Wonka was a great movie. Maybe it's because it was just a classic and everything was still practical effects and not what Tim Burton did with it. Tim Burton sometimes is just too weird for his own good. And it's just really...
He's dark.
Yes. Yeah, he's dark, and I don't mind that at all. I like a lot of his movies, but that one just kind of irked me.
Mm-hmm.
So
I got another one. Obviously, we can't be remiss to leave out The Shining.
That's how
I have that on here.
Yeah, and you have to say I can't personally say that I've read that book because the book is like I don't know, maybe
it's
like
big.
6
I
inches,
read it.
6 inches big, thick.
Book was way better.
Yeah, I'm sure it is, and I've heard that they leave a lot of stuff out and they try to condense it all down into it.
I have to do like a little side note on that though. The Jack Nicholson Shining, the book was better, but there was also, if I recall, a Shining miniseries that was like a 6-part miniseries where I didn't watch that. They probably did add more stuff because they had more time to do it. But the book was way better than the Jack Nicholson Shining.
That was a few years ago.
Yeah. And the Jack Nicholson one was great, but the book
One day, I'm not going to hurt you. I'm just going to bash your head in.
Red rum. And then my last one, comic book wise, and I've actually read at least the first set of comics on this one would be The Walking Dead.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
You can't be remiss to say that. I just want to throw that in the end.
Movie.
No. I just want to throw it in at the end.
Bro.
I am. I just want to throw it in at the end of the episode, talk about the fact that they successfully made one of the top ranking TV shows off a comic book series.
And you know why it's successful? Because it holds no punches.
Yes.
It's raw. The same way.
Well, so is the comic books.
So is Daredevil.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Which I've tried watching the first episode like 3 times, but I haven't been able to get through it yet.
Oh,
I get like 15 minutes in and I'm like, meh. But everyone has given it a great review, so I know it's got to be good.
Daredevil's solid.
That first first stuff. I'm just not into it yet.
The last few episodes, to me, they didn't wrap it up too tight, but I like the series. I got a few more that I can just mention, Bri, real quick. Are you all set?
Mm-hmm.
Paul, you got any more?
I have a huge list, so I'm actually gonna just cut it off now. I'll let you do yours because we gotta end this show and
spit them out without much input on them, just to throw them out there. I mean, I'm just gonna spit mine out. So I'm gonna just spit these out and say the Hobbit series.
Yes.
J.R.R. Tolkien. Well, great. Well, the Hobbit series, not the Lord of the Rings. I enjoy the Hobbit series better. The Prestige. Christopher Nolan movie. The original author was Christopher Priest. I thought that was a amazing movie. Blade Runner, Ridley Scott directed. That's his movie, and it was based on some novel or short story called "Do Androids Dream of Electric Sleep?" And then Ridley Scott just kind of took the concepts and made Blade Runner. That's and cool. I got one more. And we're going back to Stephen King, man. It just kind of shows the man's greatness. Shawshank Redemption.
Yep, I have that on my list.
Yeah, I forgot about that one.
How many movies by Stephen King have been adapted or TV series? It just shows
all
you
of them.
How amazing he is. You know,
he's just automatically going to get either a TV movie, a miniseries, or a feature length.
Yeah.
Although they haven't really done a feature length in a long time. Like
no, it's been a while.
Nothing I can think of.
The
Fog or The Mist, whatever.
The Mist. I read that book.
I read that. The book was way better.
Yeah, they're coming out with Stephen King's It, an actual silver screen adaptation, and I hope they bring back Tim Curry because he was amazing.
Yeah, man, he had a stroke. He's like not good right now.
He's hurting.
Yeah,
I don't even know that.
I think he's incapacitated. This was like last year, wasn't it? Yeah. All right, so that's going to be it for tonight, I think. This episode ran a little bit long.
Yeah, this one is episode 20.
Episode
20. That wraps up 20, right, guys?
Yep.
All right.
So you guys have a good night. And
hit us up on Facebook. We're at Newbreed Film Reviews on Facebook. We have also on Podomatic and iTunes Newbreed Film Reviews.
Yep,
Twitter at Newbreed Film.
Email.
I think that's it. Email.
newbreedfilmreviews2014gmail.com. So that wraps up 20. We'll be back with 21, and the topic for that one is worst movie endings. Catch you guys later.
See ya.
Adios.